Howdy folks, and welcome to the first installment in my Redstone Concepts Series. And today I'm going to show you how to make a button act like a lever, and a lever act like a button. So before I begin, I guess I should explain a little bit more about what I mean by making a button act like a lever and a lever act like a button. As we know, a button creates a pulse of a redstone signal. It turns on for a little bit and then turns right off. And a lever is sort of a toggled state. It's either on or off, always on or always off. And there might be situations in which you have a quick pulse of a redstone signal, but you want that to actually toggle a state. In other words, you'd almost like the button to turn on a lever, and then when you push the button again, it turns the lever in the other position. And then vice versa, there may be situations when you want to pull a lever or have some sort of constant redstone signal be converted into a quick pulse and then turn off because you don't want to continually supply power to it. Okay, so let's look at the button behavior first. I'm just going to make note that it's going to take a little bit longer than it normally does because I believe there's a bug with redstone right now. I'm on the latest snapshot 14W26C. It just became daytime. And 14W26C is leading up to 1.8, and I think there's a slight bug that's causing some delay with this thing. But nevertheless, I'm just going to run it here. It'll take a little while, but it's going to turn off that light. And there you go. And then when I push it again, it's going to become powered. There we go. Okay, so it's powered right now, and this piece of redstone wire is active. And the reason why it's active is because this stone has been pushed on top of this redstone torch. So the question ultimately is, why is the stone shifting position every time I push the button? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure I can explain it very well, but I'll do my best. So we've got the button up here, and it will supply power to this redstone wire, which is going to shut off both of these torches, which are basically responsible for extending both of these pistons. So right now they're both on, and both of these pistons would want to be extended, except we've got this block in the way, so that one's not. So the question, I guess, like I said, really is, okay, then why don't they both try to extend? Why does it not just stay the way it is? So here's what I think happens. When the button is pressed, you'll notice that they both remain extended, or are trying to remain extended. So I think what's happening here is that while the wire up the top is active, both pistons are trying to be active. But when the wire shuts off, there's a slight delay between the wire shutting off and the torches turning on. So I think in that little moment between those two becoming powered and unpowered, both pistons attempt to retract. But what happens is that this piston actually already has a head start on that action because it's already retracted. So you'll notice that when the piston that's extended retracts, it kind of glitches out for a moment, as though it's trying to retract and then extend again, but it can't do it because this guy's already going to extend before it. So I think that's really what's going on. That each time you push the button, the other piston basically beats the other piston to the punch and allows this stone to shift position. So hopefully that explains it, and as long as you've got this stone shifting position, the redstone torch will not supply power to the piston head. That's why this piece of wire does not become powered. But when the stone moves on top of it, then you do complete the circuit and the light turns on. Alright, so now let's look at the lever and how we can make it create a quick pulse of a signal. This is actually much easier to explain. All I've got is a comparator block and a repeater on the 4-tick delay. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to just, well, I'll show it, I guess. I did it with the last one. There you go. You see that I turned it on. It's still on, but the light has now shut off. So I shut it off, everything shuts off, and then I turn it back on again, and we get that short pulse of a signal. So the way that's being created is that the redstone signal basically starts here. The lever is going to transmit a signal power of 15 to this block here. And this repeater won't light up right away because it's on a 4-tick delay, so it's going to take a little while. But instantaneously, you're going to get signal power of 15, 14, 13 sent to this comparator. So it's going to get a signal power of 13 on its A input without a comparison signal, thus allowing the signal to be transmitted and turning the light on or activating some other circuit. But then after 4 ticks or 400 milliseconds, this repeater is going to turn on, which will supply 15 signal strength power to the comparison signal. And since it's greater than its input signal, you're going to shut off the repeater or the comparator in its default state. And that's how you get that quick pulse of a redstone signal. Alright guys, that does it for this one. Hopefully you can put these two items to use. They can come in handy in a lot of situations. Anytime, like I said, you want to convert one type of signal behavior to another, it's pretty handy. I've used it in a number of things, and I'm hoping to get some videos up to show off some of the applications of these things. So hopefully this was helpful. Keep adding to that bag of redstone tricks, and I'll see you next time.